The Wyoming sun hung mercilessly in the sky, a molten disk that scorched the earth below and cast wavering heat across the endless prairie. It was the summer of 1883, and the trail stretching through this desolate stretch of land was little more than a rutted scar carved by wagon wheels and the dreams of those chasing a better life. 10-year-old Eliza trudged along its edge, her small, bare feet stirring clouds of dust that clung to her tattered calico dress. The hem, frayed and stained, dragged against the ground, and her thin arms clutched a threadbare shawl around her shoulders despite the oppressive heat. Her dark hair, once neatly braided by her mother's gentle hands, now hung in tangled clumps, matted with sweat and grime. In her right hand, she gripped a small, tarnished locket, her only keepsake from a life that felt like a fading dream. Inside was a miniature photograph of her mother, her kind eyes blurred by time and wear, but still a tether to a world where Eliza had once been loved. Behind her, the creaking of a wagon broke the silence of the prairie, its wheels groaning under the weight of supplies and the ambitions of her stepmother, Martha. The woman sat rigid on the driver's seat, her narrow face set in a scowl that seemed etched into her very bones. Martha's two sons, Caleb and Jonah, sprawled in the back, their lanky bodies jostling with the wagon's sway. At 14 and 12, they were cruel mirrors of their mother's disposition, their sneers and taunts a constant companion to Eliza's days. The boys had inherited Martha's sharp features and sharper tongues, and they wielded both with relish, mocking Eliza's small stature, her quiet voice, and the way she clung to her locket as if it could shield her from their malice. "Look at her, trudgin' like a mule," Caleb called, tossing a pebble that struck Eliza's calf. She flinched but didn't turn, her eyes fixed on the horizon, where the sky met the earth in a shimmering haze. Eliza's father had been the glue that held their fractured family together, a gentle man with a laugh like rolling thunder and hands calloused from years of farming. But fever had claimed him a year ago, leaving Eliza adrift in a world that no longer made sense. Martha, his second wife, had never wanted Eliza, the daughter of his first love. From the moment they'd married, Martha's resentment had been a palpable thing, a cold shadow that followed Eliza through their cramped sod house in Nebraska. When Martha announced they were joining a wagon train west to seek better prospects, Eliza had hoped it might mean a fresh start. Instead, it meant longer days of toil, harsher words, and the growing suspicion that Martha saw her as little more than a burden to be shed. The wagon train had long since splintered, families peeling off to stake claims or seek towns with promise. Now, it was just Martha's wagon, a solitary speck on the vast trail. Eliza walked because there was no room for her in the wagon, or so Martha cla.